America is a wide and vast country filled with people, most importantly stories. The stories that linger in the town spread as well as the people did. Welcome to Strange States of America.
Welcome back to Strange States of America. Grab a jacket and a compass because we're going to Connecticut, or like I like to call it, Connecticut. Simmer down, it's a dad joke. But before we start, a little housekeeping or explaining. I need to do something. In the Colorado episode, I was referring to Lakeside amusement park as a white city. When a city is referred to this name, it is an architectural movement referring to the white stucco that covered most of the building's exteriors. So, now with that said, let's get on with the show. Connecticut is the southernmost state in the New England region of the northeastern United States. According to the 2020 United States Census, Connecticut was home to over 3.6 million residents. Its highest decennial count ever, growing every decade since 1790. The state is bordered by Rhode Island to its east, Massachusetts to its north, New York to its west, and Long Island Sound to its south. Its capital is Hartford, and its most populous city is Bridgeport. Historically, the state is part of New England as well as the tri-state area with New York and New Jersey. The state is named after the Connecticut River, which approximately bisects the state. The word Connecticut is derived from various anglicized spellings of Connecticut, a Mohegan Pequot word for long tidal river. Connecticut's first European settlers were Dutchmen who established a small, short-lived settlement called House of Hope in Hartford at the confluence of the Park and Connecticut rivers. Half of Connecticut was initially claimed by the Dutch colony New Netherland, which included much of the land between the Connecticut and Delaware rivers. Although the first major settlements were established in the 1630s by the English, Thomas Hooker led a band of followers from the Massachusetts Bay Colony and founded the Connecticut colony. Other settlers from Massachusetts founded the Saybrook colony and the New Haven colony. The Connecticut and New Haven colonies established documents of fundamental orders considered the first constitutions in America. In 1662, the three colonies were merged under a royal charter, making Connecticut a crown colony. Connecticut was one of the 13 colonies which rejected British rule in the American Revolution. It was influential in the development of the federal government of the United States. Connecticut is the third smallest state by area, the 29th most populous, and the fourth most densely populated of the 50 states. It is known as the Constitution State, the Nutmeg State, the Provision State, and the Land of Steady Habits. The Connecticut River, Thames River, and ports using and ports along Long Island Sound have given Connecticut a strong maritime tradition which continues today. The state also has a long history of hosting the financial services industry, including insurance companies in Hartford County and hedge funds in Fairfield County. As of the 2010 census, it has the highest per capita income, second highest level of human development beyond Massachusetts, and highest median household income in the United States. Trigger warning. This story includes child abuse, human experiments, deformities, so listener discretion is advised. Have you heard of the melonheads? Well, I have loosely, but now you're going to hear of them too. In the American folklore of Ohio, Michigan, and Connecticut, melonheads are beings generally described as small humanoids with bulbous heads who occasionally emerge from hiding places to attack people. I don't know, this sounds like a premise of a 1950s sci-fi / horror movie. Variations of the legend attribute different origins to the entities. I'm not going to go through the other states' versions of this entity in this episode. I'm only going to focus on the Connecticut version. Several variations of the Melonhead legend can be found throughout southwest Connecticut, especially in southern Litchfield County, central and eastern Fairfield County, and western New Haven County, Connecticut, in Fairfield County and Litchfield County. Many tales can be found in communities such as Newtown, New Milford, Trumbull, Shelton, Stratford, Monroe, Easton, Weston, and western and central New Haven County. Tales can be found in towns like Seymour, Oxford, Milford, and Southbury. There are several primary Connecticut variations. According to one variation of the myth, Fairfield County was the location of an asylum for the criminally insane that burnt down in the fall of 1960, resulting in the death of all of the staff and most of the patients, with 10 to 20 inmates unaccounted for, supposedly have survived and escaped into the woods. The legend states that the melonheads appearance is the result of them having resorted to cannibalism in order to survive the harsh winters of the region, and also attributed to inbreeding, which in turn caused them to develop hydrocephalus. Some retellings of this version substitute the asylum or prison with places of business or campgrounds, and the inmates / patients with employees, staff, or campgoers. Individual variations will modify what town these individuals are originally from and where they end up. According to the second variation, the Melonheads are descendants of a colonial area family from Shelton, Trumbull, who were banished after accusations of witchcraft were made against them, causing them to retreat into the woods. As with the first version of the legend, this variation attributes the appearance of the melonheads to inbreeding. Melonheads allegedly prey upon humans who wander into their territory. Like the first version, individual retellings will modify what town the family was originally from and where they end up. Anybody else getting wrong turn vibes? No? Just me? Cool. A number of Connecticut-based legends of the Melonheads have one characteristic in common. The inclusion of a secluded rustic or single-lane, usually dirt road running through the Melonheads wooded territory. Many towns in Fairfield County and New Haven County have rural and forested sections, and it is not uncommon for these forests to have rural roads running through them. These roads at times are associated with the local variation of the Melonhead legend, and are said to be part of the Melonheads territory. In a number of towns, such as Newtown, Milford, Shelton, Trumbull, and Monroe, several legends place the Melonheads territory around a mysterious and mythical street, commonly referred to as Dracula Drive. None of the towns that have a Melonhead legend have roads designated as Dracula Drive. Depending on what version of the legend is told, one of several existing streets are mistakenly referred to or coincidentally coincide with the Dracula Drive mentioned in the Melonhead stories. For instance, some legends place the Melonheads territory in and around Sawmill City Road in Shelton as Dracula Drive. Some other roads mistakenly referred to as Dracula Drive include Edmonds Road in Oxford, Velvet Street in Trumbull, and Monroe runs between Joshua Road in Trumbull and Judd Road in Monroe near the eastern border. Zon Hill Road in Milford, the roads around Lake Mohegan in Fairfield, Marginal Road in New Haven, Jeremy Swamp Road in Southbury, path roads in and around the Roosevelt Forest in Stratford. Characteristics of the legend evolve, and parts of various versions of the legend affect other parts/versions of the legend. For example, some legends claim the Melonheads would bite or consume whoever entered their territory. Also, the Melonheads territory commonly involves a secluded rustic or dirt road running through it. There was one instance where elements of the legend interact over time, and why some actual streets are mistakenly referred to as Dracula Drive by some locals. In Connecticut, some of the inspiration for a number of the versions of the Melonheads legends may be attributed to the local surroundings and landmarks. Central Fairfield County is home to the now defunct Fairfield Hills State Mental Hospital, as well as the Gardner Correctional Institution, both located in Newtown, as well as the Federal Correctional Institution located in nearby Danbury. Also, this area of Fairfield County has been historically a rural area filled with farms and forests. The proximity of several criminal and psychiatric institutions, as well as their juxtaposition to rural. I don't know why I'm having problems with that word. Rural areas of the county may have attributed elements to the legend of the Melonheads. Stories about deformed country people who keep to themselves are common in legend. While the legend of the Melonheads is more widely told throughout southwest Connecticut, one of several other similar legends of deformed or mutated humans can be found in various locations of Fairfield and New Haven County. These legends have been told in overlapping communities, where some individuals would tell versions of one legend alongside other individuals who would tell their versions of another legend. Over time, this overlapping of oral tradition may have allowed the cross contribution of elements to each other. Some similar legends include the Danbury Frog People, commonly told in Danbury/Bethel, the Faceless People of Monroe / the House of the Faceless People, commonly told in Monroe, Mongoloid Village, commonly told in the communities of central and eastern New Haven County, like North Branford. I didn't think this legend was going to be so immense that it would take up an entire episode, but unfortunately it did. So with that said, Connecticut has many more stories, but we got to keep on trekking because next we are going to Delaware.